everything will fall to the Baneling, Zergling, and Mutalisk ball. But what has Nerchio done about this drop in the main, doing a lot of damage? Hive is done, Greater Spire is out, and these Mutalisks will be the first to try to defend this drop, and it looks like he will be able to do that fairly effectively. Baneling's now here, and that's going to clean that up. So a very nice multi-pronged attack by Strelok, but Nerchio was able to clean it up fairly well, catching another group of Marines out here, and Corruptors beginning to be made by the Zerg player, and soon we will see Broodlords, and that is going to be dirty for Strelok to handle. No Banelings here, and Nerchio still going in. I don't like that move too much, but here comes the Banelings finally, and nicely cleaning up the Marines there, but losing a lot of Zerglings, and you really want your Zergling count to be high, if not for their use for tanking for the Banelings, but to eventually morph into Banelings, because it takes up quite a bit of your larva to be making Zerglings constantly, just to be turning them into Banelings, and so you really want to preserve every single Zergling you have in Terran vs. Zerg, but Broodlord's soon going to be out. We can see that the Greater Spire is going to be finishing up in about 10 seconds, and the 4th is up for Strelok, only just putting up the turrets. If these Mutalisks swing in now, he could do a lot of damage, and here we go. It looks like he will get there in time. No, the turret does finish one of the turrets, and he looks like he does take down one of them, and gets about 3 or 4 SCV kills there, and the Mutalisks are just going to be harassing the Planetary Fortress from the side that the missile turret cannot reach, and we can see Strelok beginning to move his army to one side. This could be a big opportunity for Nerchio to intercept this troop movement by Strelok, but it looks like Strelok deciding to push up the middle, and these Mutalisks continuing to do a light bit of harass, not too troublesome, and we can see Vikings already out preparing for the eventual Broodlord transition, and we do see one in production. Going to the unit tab, we see 70 Zerglings, only 11 Banelings, and another drop for Strelok here. So Strelok doing very well on keeping up his harass, and again with this side, with this cliff push here, I wonder if he's going to be ferrying his units once again, but sieging up his tanks, and yes, it does look like he will drop some units onto the high ground and fortify this position with siege tanks. Let's see how Nerchio deals with this. The Marines are now out, they have stimmed, and they will be moving into the heart of the Zerg base. And wonder what kind of damage he's looking to do. What is his target right now? What is his goal with this attack? I mean, surely there will be some kind of good plan for that. Strelok has gotten a hold on this position here. It's going to be quite tough for the Zerg player to break this siege tank group here with these Vikings too to stop the Broodlords, but here comes the Zerglings streaming into the tanks, and they get a very good positioning on the tanks and will be able to chew them up. Surprisingly, a very small amount of Marines accompanying those tanks, and it looks like every single tank in this area has been broken quite easily by Nerchio. I'm quite surprised by how effectively Nerchio was able to get rid of those tanks. Those Marines just... I mean, just the low Marine count really was what prevented those tanks from doing the damage that they could have. I'm not exactly sure where all the Marines went. Perhaps he was dropping a bit too much, and it doesn't look like substantial damage was done to Nerchio's base. As we can see, he still has 2 healthy mining bases, but that is similar to the Terran player, but they're going to be mining out the high yield pretty soon. It looks like the natural is mined out for the Terran player, likewise for the Zerg player, and now it's just a little bit of passivity as each player decides to continue to build up their army and figure out how they want to break the defenses of their opponents here. Zerglings moving over to the side to handle this single Marine, and look at that, dropping onto the high ground, continuing to use that cliff advantage, and none of these Zerglings can contribute, so that is going to be a large hit to the Mutalisks, and Nerchio finally going to clean that up, but very cost inefficiently, and I really like how Strelok is attacking one side, and then attacking the other side, and then just going back and forth, trying to spread the Zerg army thin, because that's really going to be what the Terran's advantage is. If he can keep the Baneling counts, if he can keep the Zerg guessing about how many Zerglings he wants and how many Banelings, that's going to be really good. And a lot of Vikings taking down Overlords there. And here comes Nerchio moving in, a nice fungal growth with those Infestors. The Zerglings come in and do a lot of damage to the tanks, and it looks like Nerchio just quitting the game, and oh my goodness, Strelok with that boss troop movement and really good attack decisions, going for one side and then the other, continually poking and prodding at the Zerg player here. So that will wrap up this game between Nerchio and Strelok.